Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Shall you leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I will greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, the first Raw after SummerSlam, and they were really trying to hammer home that, it's the Raw after SummerSlam, trying to make it as big as the Raw after Mania. Was it ever going to get to that? I don't think so. But I do appreciate the attempt. I just wish there was more of an attempt with the overall show, because the way that I basically summarized this episode of Raw it was a little underwhelming, because I was kind of expecting a little something, especially after the big fallout that was SummerSlam, not just of night 2, but of night 1 as well. And I would say overall, look, there was nothing really low about this. I wouldn't say anything was necessarily bad throughout, besides the explanation of Brock Lesnar. I really hope we do get more of that later on, because again, I do think WWE owes us a full-on statement or full-on explanation as to why he is back. But again, if you want me to go more into it, you can go to my SummerSlam Night 2 review for that. But that was the really only low point that I can think of. But there was really nothing that was super over the edge, something really that goes wow and all that. Now, I don't think every show needs that, and it's probably on me for expecting that. But overall, this episode of Raw was fine. The opening promo with Seth Rollins went about as we expected. LA Knight coming out, I do think was the right choice to make, because he did beat Seth Rollins, and I think he would deserve a World Heavyweight title match. I was upset that it got announced for tonight, because literally as soon as it was announced, I was like, well, it's going to end in DQ, and he'll probably not get another chance, and we'll just do Punk versus Rollins in Clash in Paris. And sure enough, that is what happened. Punk came out during the main event, and, it ends in DQ. I did like how LA Knight fought Punk, though, which gives me hope that it will be a triple threat. I know a lot of people are thinking it's going to be 3-on-3 because Roman came out to make the save. I know Cody is expected to work Clash in Paris. That I do know. But I don't think Roman is expected to. So I think him taking the 3 tsunamis and yet again him getting the shoes stolen from Bronson Reed was their way of writing him off until whenever he's going to come back, which I heard was Survivor Series, which, damn, I think this is the least amount of appearances that we're going to get from Roman Reigns within a year and ever. He's earned that, but man, I would like to see more of my tribal chief. So hopefully in 2026 we get more of Roman Reigns. But I don't see us doing the 3-on-3 match at Clash in Paris. But if we do, cool. If not, I would prefer the triple threat between Punk, LA, and Rollins. Even if LA is there just to take the pin, I do think it will be worthy of LA to be within that exposure, to be in that main event scene. I think it will benefit him a lot, and hopefully he can prove, hey, he can do this. He can be in the main event scene, and then maybe on SmackDown he feuds with a Cody Rhodes. But again, those two things were fine. The match was good overall until we got towards the end. Sheamus versus Rusev went about as expected. Once they were fighting on the outside and they started doing the, I forgot what Sheamus calls, the 10 bells or something like that. But Rusev was doing it. I was like, oh, we're going to do a double count out. And sure enough, we did do a double count out. I did like how they kept brawling afterwards, showing how useless the security was. And then the tie-in with Sami Zayn as well is kind of interesting to me too, because next week we're doing Sami Zayn versus Rusev. Okay, that's kind of interesting to see here. Are we going to do Sami Zayn versus Sheamus the week after that? Are we going to do that triple threat at Clash in Paris? All signs would point that we need to do Sheamus and Rusev one-on-one properly with a stipulation where there is a winner in Paris, but we will see as we continue on this road to Clash. But that was kind of intriguing. I didn't really like Sami's promo that much with the whole, when I had the pipe in my hand, I did feel some darkness inside of me. I'm just like, because he tried to hit you with the pipe. He has hit you with the pipe. It's okay for you to hit him back with the pipe. That one, it's okay to just stoop down to that person's level if they attack first. That's just how I see things. If I have heel tendencies, please let me know. But I really did not see any problem with Sami grabbing the pipe at SummerSlam, and it really is kind of throwing me into a loop. But it is interesting now that he is within the Sheamus and Rusev storyline. I like what we did with Lyra quite a bit, where we essentially just said, hey, look, I'm not your friend, I'm not your enemy, but I need you to stay out of my life. And then she walks away. Will Bayley be able to do that? We will see moving on within the future. But maybe this is how Lyra goes over the Friday nights. Maybe she's going to ask for a trade. We will see. That was really intriguing to me. The best moment of the night, though, was Becky and Nikki, though, which at first was like a little bit of an eyebrow raise. I was like, really? Nikki Bella? Because, I don't think Nikki and Becky as, mid-carders. Like, yeah, sure, the IC title is a mid-card title, but we're elevating it, and I would have liked to see, an Ivy Nile, or, Stephanie Becerra is currently in the main event scene, and she's probably going to win it. Who else is in the mid-card scene? I guess Nikki was the best bet to go with. But, when she came out, I was like, this is interesting. And then the whole back and forth, I was really enjoying it. Obviously, Becky won the promo battle with the whole, don't talk about me and my hot husband. We are the best couple in all of WWE. Just like how you can't see him. And it got a big reaction from the crowd. Very, very good stuff there. But yeah, I look forward to that in Clash of Paris due to I'm assuming it's going to happen at Clash in Paris. For all we know, it could happen on a random Monday Night Raw. But again, I assume it's going to happen at Clash in Paris. But yeah, good back and forth between them. It got me interested within the storyline quite a bit. I am kind of happy with what we're doing with Nikki. We're not immediately putting her within the main event. We didn't automatically give her a SummerSlam match. In the old regime, we would have done that. In this case, we are not. And, yeah, sure, if she was a male legend, maybe she would have gotten it. That's definitely a conversation to have. Look, and I'll also say it too, when we do it to the men legends as well, they automatically get a shot. I'm not a huge fan of that either. But I am liking what we're doing with Nikki. I'm like what we did here with Becky quite a bit. It was really, really good stuff. And, the back and forth between them got me intrigued within the match. Now, everything that we were doing with Penta and Grayson Waller, very fun match. I love what we did with Xavier Woods. With his gigantic ass hat, and then Penta putting on the hat. Very, very fun stuff there. I just wish, the World Tag Titles had a clear direction, because yeah, the New Days are talking about the titles. Judgment Day are holding the tag titles, but there's no clear direction on what we're going to do there. That's always going to be a problem to me as we move forward within this. And then, the whole Dominic versus Dragon Lee stuff, and then the 3 El Grande Americanos showing up. It was funny. It was funny. I am curious to see what the end game is. For sure, I am looking forward to that AAA show, because we obviously did the one-on-one match just to promote that AAA show that is next week. God, there's just way too many events. But yeah, AJ Styles coming out, having the boot, throwing the boot at Dominic. Again, it was just fine stuff. Again, I could just keep going on about that when it comes to this episode of Raw, which is why, last week I didn't make a review for it, because it was just very much the same stuff over and over and over again. I was like, yeah, it was fine. Yeah, it was fine. But nothing's really wowed me. Nothing really seems like really to dig deep about, besides, of course, the Brock Lesnar stuff. But, I've already addressed that. And until more information gets brought to us, which I do think we are owed, then we will continue to not talk about it. But, of course, we will have to talk about it on Friday with John Cena being on that show. But, yeah, again, it was fine. That's the theme of this video. It was fine. Nothing really to complain about, but nothing really to praise about either. But let me know what y'all thinks about this episode of Raw down in the comment section. Leave a like on this video if you made it this far. I do greatly appreciate it. And again, hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to go into my YouTube career. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.